Hey, what's up, guys? This is MJ. Today I'm going to answer the question, should people in the military use their benefits to go to UTI for their automotive/diesel program and also get free housing? I got this question from one of my other videos, and here it is. Okay, this was from iDre Builds. It says, good morning. Honestly, I literally watched your video and you made me really think about my plan. I'm currently active duty diesel mechanic for the military. I'm getting out soon and I got offered to go to UTI, tuition fully free with housing. They allow me to do automotive and diesel. Do you know any community college that offer you to do both? And is their offer of doing both bias? All right, so let me answer your question as quick and to the point as possible. I would not go to the UTI program, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons. Number 1, that housing is probably awful, but to be honest, most college housing is awful anyway. You're much better getting an apartment off campus or just staying with your parents and just taking advantage of some of the time you have to spend with them because they're not going to be here forever. Point number 2, combining automotive and diesel to me is kind of pointless. I feel like they're just doing that to get you to stay there longer to pay more money. You're not going to be able to split yourself into 2 people and work at both a regular gasoline engine shop and a diesel engine shop. So just pick a lane, pick which one you like the best, get really good at it, and then if you need to transfer over, a place will hire you if you're really good at one. They figure they could train you on the other one. I'll give you an example. For me, when I graduated college from Ferris State, all my background had been in gasoline engines. All my ASCs were all the gasoline ones. I didn't have any diesel ASCs, and I'd only worked on a few diesel vehicles when I worked at AAA. Just some oil changes, fuel filter changes, changed the fuel pump in like one old Dodge, and that was it. That's all I knew about diesels. But I knew so much about gas, like they figured, well, look, we could train you. And they were right, because once I got hired at Cummins, I picked up diesel pretty quickly. Really, the only differences in diesel and gasoline is mostly in the fuel systems and in the emission systems. So everything else is the same. They're both 4-stroke engines. They're the same electrical. It's still DC electrical diagnostics. Everything else is pretty much the same. Just those 2 things are different. And there are a few other little differences here and there, but you picked them up quick. So to do a program that's teaching you both, to me, is pretty much pointless. It's just wasting your time. And that is the main reason why I don't suggest going to UTI, is because even though it's free for you, you are wasting a year and a half of your time. You could have been spending that time actually working at a dealership, getting actual experience. So to me, UTI and schools like Lincoln Tech, they're just there to get you jobs at dealerships. Like, that's their main thing. But the way the economy is now, dealerships and Pep Boys and wherever, they're hiring anybody right now because nobody wants to work anywhere, really. And dealerships, people are starting to realize that it's not as much fun working at a dealership as you think it is. I mean, I could do a whole video about this if you want, but working at the dealership has its challenges. It's fun, pretty much at first. And then once they put you on flat rate, you start competing for jobs, and the different techs in the shop are fighting over work, especially when the work gets low. Oh yeah, it becomes a whole reality TV show. So yeah, I would not idolize working at a dealership. But listen, I know you have a plan and you're looking to me for my opinion, and I'm going to give it to you. Why should you listen to me? Because I've been a master mechanic at Pep Boys, AAA. Also was a mechanic at Honda dealership, and I was a mechanical engineering technician at Cummins. I was an engineer at Cummins, and I was also an engineer at Toyota. So I know a little bit about the industry, and I know what you have to do to get those great jobs. And I'm going to tell you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into 3 videos because I've been really thinking about your question. And this question could go for people who aren't in the military too, but especially for people in the military, this video is going out to you. For this video, I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was in your shoes. In the next video, I'm going to tell you 3 schools two specific schools that you can go to for 2-year degrees that are way, way, way better than Lincoln Tech and UTI. You'll get an actual degree instead of a little certificate. For the third video for you, I'm going to show you 3 jobs that, in my opinion, are way, way better than working at a dealership. Easier and more stable. And they're also more stable financially. Like, you won't be getting paid flat rate where your paycheck's going up and down every week. You're going to be getting the same minimum every week. You're going to be getting paid by the hour, and you're going to be getting awesome, awesome benefits. And then in addition to that, when you get overtime, oh, your paycheck goes way, way up. So I'm going to show you how to get paid. I'm going to show you the cheat codes, the life strategies. I'm going to give you the run-throughs. I'm going to show you where all the secret items are located, and you are going to be just fine and dandy like sour candy. So for the run-through, let me just go through this real quick. If I were you, I'm imagining you're maybe 25, 26, you're about to get out the Army. This is what I would do specifically. I would work on getting your ASC certifications. If you need help, check out my video, how to pass the ASC test. I have passed almost all of them. I passed all of them to be a master tech. And I also passed the L1 Advanced Engine Performance, and I passed the Diesel Engines ASC. So I would start ordering these study guides, studying, and get ready to take the test. So this was the light duty diesel. I never actually took this one. That's A9. But I did take the T2 diesel engines. I passed that one. And then I would suggest doing electrical. That's A6. A8 is in engine performance. I would take that one. And then if you can, advanced engine performance L1. L1 is actually kind of hard, so you really got to study for that. I would take that one last. That one's kind of hard, but you could do it. So after you've passed a few ASCs, at least maybe 2 or 3, I would go ahead and get your resume looked at by a professional, have them proofread it, make sure everything's looking perfect, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Then I'd go ahead and put my resume on Indeed, or also put it on LinkedIn or maybe Career Builder too. Go ahead and start a profile there, put your resume up. Believe it or not, a lot of companies are going to contact you. But when you're on there, you could look at the different dealerships and shops in your area, and you see which one you want to work at. After that, I would look at some videos on YouTube for how to interview professionally. You want to get and do as good an interview as possible, because your resume will get you into the interview, but a good interview will get you hired. So that's what you want to do. Make sure your interview skills are there. When you go on the interview, make sure your hair is cut nice and your nice clothes, nice presentation, confident. But what I want you to do also during the interview, at some point during the interview, they usually ask you, do you have any questions? So I want you to ask a couple questions, and here they are. So from your question, it sounds like maybe you need a little bit more confidence. Like you feel like maybe you can't cut it at a dealership. And this is what I want you to know. At most dealerships, they're going to be divided into teams, and there's going to be a team leader. So for the new guys coming in, they're just going to be giving you the basic jobs to start out with. So you're just going to be doing oil changes, tires, lights, maybe belts, maybe a flush or something, maybe brakes. So they're just going to have you doing the basic stuff anyway. But if you have questions, they have people there at most dealerships that will answer your questions and help you through repairs. They might, you might ask them to, hey, can you look at this, make sure I did it right, or how do I get this out, or what should I do here? You know, there'll be people there to answer your questions. So most shops are either going to have a team leader or a shop foreman that's there. When I worked at Pet Boys, the one in Philly anyway, I was the shop foreman. So it was part of my job to answer questions and to help the other technicians to learn and to get through repairs. So don't think of it like you're going to be on an island by yourself, and as soon as you get there, they're going to ask you to do a whole bunch of hard stuff, to do a timing belt or head gasket or check engine light with 3 codes, or they're not going to ask you that when you first get there. And if they do, then that's on them. You could just be like, look, I don't know how to do this. I can't do this repair. And then they will just get a ticket to somebody else. So the only people that they can just throw any repair at are like the experts, the master techs, the shop foremans who've been there for a while. They can't do that to new guys, and they're not going to. And if they did, well, you know, you can go ahead and get a different job. Jobs as a technician right now are a dime a dozen. You could easily get another job if they start treating you bad. Okay, so here is the cheat code. All right, so check this out. This is what I would do if I were you. When you get this job at the dealership, and I know you want a job at the dealership, and that's cool, and it's actually good for your resume. So check this out. Only plan on working at that dealership for maybe 1.5 years at the most. I want you to put in your mind that this is only a temporary job. And don't tell anybody that this is your plan either. Don't tell the people that are hiring you. Don't tell the people that you're working with. You don't even have to tell your friends and family, but just have it in your head. This is a temporary job. What I want you to do during this year at the dealership is learn as much as possible. Get as many ASEs as you can. In fact, I would recommend trying to get all 8 so you could be a master level technician at least. And if you want to work with diesels, I would go ahead and get those diesel ASEs as well. You don't really have to get the L1 unless you want to, but I would definitely get all 8 regular automotive ASEs and the diesel ASEs. Also, during this year, I would suggest that if you're at a dealership, you do as many of those online modules as possible. Most dealerships are going to have little training modules that you could take at home or, on your lunch break at the dealership. Take as many of those as possible and learn that product inside and out. When I was at Honda, they had all these training modules for Honda vehicles on there. And I took all of them. I took every single one that they made at the time. And it took about 6 or 7 months. But I had all of them. And they also sent me to a Honda school that they have that they give you some hands-on training and some in-person instruction. So get all those certs and learn all that information and soak up all that information while you're at the dealership. Also, while you're there, don't go crazy buying tools or toolboxes. Just pay cash for tools. Don't get a big bill with Snap-on. Don't get a big toolbox. Just slowly build up your tool collection. So towards the end of this year, I want you to start thinking about, number 1, where you're going to work next. So like I said, in the next video, I'm going to give you 3 suggestions for places that are way, way better than working at a dealership. So the 3 jobs that we're going to talk about in the next video are mechanical engineering technician, which is what I used to do, and a fleet mechanic, like working for city vehicles or city buses, places like that. They're usually union shops and they're super easy. Also, you go be a mechanic for the post office, which is a super easy and high paying job. And the third possibility I want you to think about is a robotics engineering technician. So once you decide which type of job you want after your dealership job, from there, that's where you're going to decide what type of college you're going to go to. And I'm going to make another video for that, telling you the community colleges or 2-year degree programs that will get you those good jobs. So yeah, here you go. You're going to get actually 3 videos. This is the first one. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.